Welcome back, everybody. We're on episode 2 of 3 tonight for the prediction shows for this weekend. We've got a card this Friday night. Next Gen Altrincham is the destination. Pat Brown making his debut in the main event. But the fight that's got our attention is Cameron Vuong and Jordan Flynn. It's been on and off like a light switch over the past few years. One was injured, the other was injured. But let's touch some wood, boys. We want to see this fight on Friday night. All three of us, I believe, thought that Gavin Gwynn was very hard done to against Cameron Vuong last time out when we watched it. Close fight, but I did think that Gwynn did enough. But anyway, that's in the past. Vuong did get the decision in the end. Jordan Flynn's going to be bang up for it if he wasn't already after seeing that performance from Vuong against Gavin Gwynn. So he's got a point to prove Vuong himself because, you know, as of many of our prospects, they get the big build-up, don't they? And then their first proper step up. Not to say he wasn't ready because he went out there and he fought with Gwynn, and Gwynn's a former European champion. You know, he's no slouch. But yeah, usual stuff, guys. Give me your thoughts. I'm really interested in this fight personally. I'm looking forward to watching it with you both on Friday night. Obviously, a rare Friday night of boxing. Big up to Bogdan. It is a beautiful day. Any day is a beautiful day, Bogdan. So thanks for your comment, my friend. But yeah, boys, should be a good one. Vuong and Flynn.
Look, let's get the elephant out of the room. Team Vuong have swerved the rematch, right? Whatever way you look at it,
they've
swerved the rematch, right? You can say what you want. I've got a lot of respect for the team. I know a couple of the team, so it's no slight on them. They're doing the business of boxing, right? They found out that their lad wasn't at the level we thought he was at this point. This is not to say that he won't surpass that level and be a multi-weight world champion. We don't know that, right? But ultimately, he come unstuck and he got the rub of the green from the promoter being the home fighter. He should have lost that fight, right? He should have lost. Simple. So what they should have done is gone straight back in. Vuong said he wanted to do that. And then they've gone and made a fight that was supposed to happen before this one, before the Gwynn fight. That Gwynn fight wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be Flynn's. And I think Flynn got injured, did he?
Yeah, again. Yeah.
Right. So here we are. My only concern for Flynn for this fight is that it's a stinker because they're both unbeaten on paper. But Flynn drew with Kane Baker, who boxes very similar to Vuong, rangy, jabs in and out. And I'm just thinking, is it going to be a similar fight where it's jab and grab and it's just going to be... I've got a feeling this fight ain't going to be as classy as we thought it's going to be. I think they're going to cancel each other out. We're going to get a real flipping scrappy fight that you could toss a coin for at the end.
Yeah.
You know,
you think the presser will be the main event for it?
It's a fight I wanted to see, but not now. This is a fight I wanted to see either before or after he's dealt with the business that he's got outstanding as far as I'm concerned. But I don't make the fights. It's still a great fight. It's a fight that we've been clambering to see for a year now, and we'll be watching it together on Friday night. But yeah, I think it's going to be not disappointing. I just don't think it's going to be as good as we're expecting it to be. I think that we're going to see a clash of styles because they're both pretty flashy, aren't they? So they're not going to be able to counterpunch each other. So it's going to be a lot of feeling out and a lot of awkwardness.
Yeah. Liam, I don't think either of them hit that hard, which ties into what Jay said, but I think there's going to be a big, like all the attention of fight week's going to be on this fight. I know Pat Brown's got his debut, but these two are going to be going at it at the presser. You know, they're going to be nose to nose at the weigh-in and that kind of thing. And, you know, it would be a shame if it played out like what Jay anticipates it might because they've got a big platform here, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, echo everything Jay said. This should be a rematch with Gavin Gwynn before Vuong moves on to do anything else. But we know how boxing goes. You don't always get what you should do. So we're in this position. Look, this fight has been talked about for a long time. And kind of, not to be a Nelly Downer on it, I just don't think it can be that good a fight for similar reasons that Jay's just said. Their styles will clash too much. It's just not going to gel. It's going to be messy and scrappy. And Cameron Vuong, who likes to box with confidence, he likes to be a bit of a showman, I think is going to be a bit more reserved after the last fight. That Gavin Gwynn fight was a gut test for him, which every fighter needs, but it also shattered a lot of his false pretense and his invincibility that he thought he had. So I think he's going to be very reserved and very held back. And if that happens, it's up to Jordan Flynn to force the issue. can Jordan Flynn force the issue is the question. I mean, injuries have absolutely killed Jordan Flynn, haven't they? I mean, even without the Vuong fight, he pulled out of 2 others in recent times because of injuries. So he just can't keep sort of rhythm going. I'm hoping we're all wrong here and it turns out to be an absolute barnstormer, but a combination of Vuong wanting to sort of get back on track after his last fight and their styles just not gelling that well for me makes me think it could be a bit of a tough watch, which is a shame.
Yeah, I hope it's not, but I completely feel feel where both of you are coming from on it. Look, I think whatever happens on Friday, I'll kick off with the predictions. I think whatever happens, it's going to be close. I can't see either man, schooling the other one or, winning. I think it's a 10-rounder, isn't it? I can't see like an 8-2 or a 9-1. I think it's going to be 6-4 either way. No, I'm not going to say potential for a draw. Leave that to Jay in 5 seconds' time, but I think Vuong nicks it, boys, on points. I think activity, maybe he's fought at a slightly higher level. I think he might be a little bit quicker, but yeah, I'm not ruling out Flynn, but I think Vuong edges it for me on the cards. I can't see a knockout in this one.
I think Flynn will edge it, if anybody. I was going to go for the draw, but I just think that Flynn, his experience will come through. I think, as Liam said, I think Vuong's going to be less cocksure of himself. I think he's going to be less trigger happy because he's worried about what's coming back. He got badly hurt a couple of times in that last fight. I think he got cut as well, didn't he? So I think his confidence is going to be shot. And I think by the time he starts to find it, I think he's going to be too far behind. So I see him dropping a decision. Jordan Flynn, UD.
1-1 into Liam's pick.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. You can make a case either way, can't you? I actually do agree with Jay. I think Jordan Flynn is going to edge a points decision. It will be, I think it will be unanimous, but I just think you're going to edge towards Jordan Flynn. I think he's going to stick it on Cameron Vuong, and if Cameron Vuong gets hurt or gets cut again like he did in the Gavin Gwynn fight, he'll go into his shell, and if that happens, Jordan Flynn will be able to dictate the pace. I'm high on Cameron Vuong and hope he's able to come back and come again, but someone as cocksure and as loud-mouthed and as brash as Jordan Flynn isn't who Cameron Vuong needs in his first fight after such a big gut test, which is why I'm going to go towards Jordan Flynn.
I think it's fascinating, the judging element of this too, because the judges are all going to be aware that there was controversy around Vuong versus Gwynn. So does that make them play a little bit into Flynn's hand?
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it's a factor, isn't it?
It will.
Yeah. But then it's on Matchroom
show. Talk about that. Yeah, it's terrible that we even have to have these conversations, but we know it goes on. When they're sat having the meal on a Thursday night and they're all sat talking with Eddie or Barry or whoever, allegedly, and they're ordering the red wine and the steak, the conversations will be had that there was controversy in Vuong's last fight, and it will influence the judging. So don't be surprised if Flynn should have won it and Saturday morning we're talking about him losing a UD.
Yeah, I think that would be a bad one for Vuong, wouldn't it? But yeah, look, the boys think Flynn wins on points. I've got Vuong. We all think it's going to be close. Hopefully, we're not overly enthused by the fact that it's going to be a great fight, but hopefully they both prove us wrong. But we'll be there for it on Friday night watching.
We will.
Thanks to everybody who tuned in, as always. We've got one more to cover, the big one, Maya versus Ryan 2. Let's hope there's no paint involved this time, boys. We'll see you shortly.
See ya.